Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. I figured since I reviewed all the Final Destination movies that I do a full-on ranking of them. This is a video that's long overdue, but I'm such a huge fan of this franchise. And I'm curious to see where I'm going to place all of these because I've never done a ranking of this franchise before. But anyways, enough said, let's dive right into it. So the grading system I have here is GOAT, which is the best, great movie, had its moments but not the best, and straight ass. We all know for a fact that there's going to be one in that column, but we'll wait until we get to that point. But anyways, we're going to be starting with the first film, the one that started it all, the OG. The plane crash, the first vision sequence, incredible, which was originally an episode of the X-Files, a script at least, that was written for the show, the X-Files, but was so good that they turned it into a full-on feature film, is the one that sparked the entire franchise. You have some memorable deaths in this one. Todd's death in the restroom. That teacher's death in the kitchen. Oh, and Sean William Scott's death whenever that piece of metal flies underneath the train and swings his head up right off his body. Cool stuff. I did feel like that third act did fall apart a little bit. I don't know if it was because of reshoots or rewrites or whatever, but it always felt inconsistent with the rest of the film. But I still enjoyed the film as a whole. Pretty solid. I really like this one. If I had to place it anywhere, let's see. GOAT? I do think there's plenty of them that are better than this one. I'm going to go with great movie. Yeah, it's definitely great. But there's definitely some that are better than this one. Next, we have Final Destination 2, which is arguably probably has one of the best vision sequence, if not the best, in the entire franchise, with the highway crashes, the log trucks. The entire generation is still scarred to this day because of that particular scene. You have that kid where that glass plate just falls on him and crushing him into a billion pieces. The deaths in here are actually really good, and they go full on practical. That's what I love the most about that one. Wasn't big on the whole like That's So Raven type of thing that was going on with the main character Kimberly with the visions and stuff like that. And she just straight up just drives a van into the lake, killing herself, not knowing if that plan was actually going to work or not. So I always found, and plus also the leads, Devon Sawa was really good in that first movie. Here, Kimberly is also a good lead, but definitely not the best. This is honestly, I probably will get heat for this. This is probably one of my least favorite, but still a pretty good movie with some pretty good deaths. I'm going to have to put it in had its moments, but not the best. But speaking of leads, Mary Elizabeth Winstead in Final Destination 3 is by far the best lead out of all of these movies. I found a new appreciation for this movie big time. Because this is one of the movies that I would ignore in the entire franchise. But after revisiting it, after like talking about these movies and reviewing them, I rewatched Final Destination 3, and I forgot how damn good this movie was. James Wong, the director of the first film, returns to direct this one, and I believe he wrote it too. But he just knocks it out of the park. And yes, like I said, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, great lead. The roller coaster sequence, incredible. Even whenever I was looking, like researching and watching behind the scenes footage of how they shot those films, my appreciation went through the roof. Also, it has probably my favorite death in the entire franchise when they're in that warehouse and the nail gun goes off and kills that girl, stapling her arm to her head. It's those little whimpers after the death that just sells it for me. We have probably my favorite match cut transition after that brutal tanning salon scene. But I would have to say this is GOAT. This is one of my favorite ones. And it never was in the beginning. I would always put the first movie above this one, but after revisiting all of them with an empty mind, and also going in critically too, but not overcritical, because these movies you don't go in to see Citizen Kane or anything like that. But when comparing it to the rest of the films in this franchise, the third one is really that good. So I'm going to have to put it in GOAT tier. Yeah, some That one too also has some pretty solid deaths. The Frankie Cheeks, the dude with the camera that stalks chicks around, when they jump out of that, when the two lead characters jump out of their truck after referencing SpongeBob. Yeah, there's a SpongeBob reference in here, which makes it automatically a goat. But after they jump out of that vehicle and that engine goes through the car in front of them, killing Frankie Cheeks with that engine spinning around, that was some gnarly shit. But Final Destination 3, GOAT tier. Alright. The Final Destination. This was probably, you know what? I had went to DVD exchange with a friend, and one of my best friends, and we found a copy, with the 3D glasses of this movie on the shelves. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe we should check this thing out. Maybe it's pretty good in 3D. The movie's still shit. But we watched it, and there were some fun moments, and it's laughably bad. We clowned the entire thing. The characters, some of them are just unnecessarily racist. Like a doctor and this other dude who's literally lighting a cross in front of this guy's front yard and lights it on fire. And if you search up the cast and you look at the names, his character is called racist. Our main character, Nick, is terrible. He dreams and has these visions of hints of the deaths that are going to occur throughout the movie. But the CGI trying to sell that 3D effect just came off terribly executed. Looks like it was shot and edited on Windows Movie Maker with some tips from PlayStation 2. Okay, I apologize, PlayStation 2, you're goated. But in terms of graphics, they did look like it was borrowing from PlayStation 2. But this movie is garbage. Structure-wise, acting-wise, the script, terrible. Our main characters walk onto the crime scene. They come across a cop. They ask for security footage of all the death that occurred at the race car track. The cop's like, okay, I'm going to show y'all all the footage of these people dying. You have Trent, the main character's friend, who's just a straight-up asshole, who's mean to women and treats them like shit, and follows around flipping this coin everywhere, and then he gets his ass sucked by this pool drain. So, The Final Destination is not a good movie. This movie's terrible. And it sucks to say because I also watched the behind the scenes of this film, and they did go practical a lot, but when the final cut happened, they covered it up with a bunch of terrible CGI, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. And James Wong, the director of the first and third film, was supposed to return to direct this one, but due to scheduling conflicts, he was busy directing another critically acclaimed movie called Dragon Ball Z Evolution. So yeah, The Final Destination is not a good movie. This movie is straight ass. Yeah, you go home. And coming off of this abomination, we have my favorite Final Destination movie, Final Destination 5. Sometimes I watch it for the opening title sequence because the visuals are sick and the score by Brian Tyler is a freaking masterpiece. This movie, I absolutely love. The bridge collapse. Damn good. Our main lead, Sam, he's good as well. Not the best, but he's pretty solid as the lead. The gymnastics scene. Really well executed suspense and tension. And also that payoff is brutal. Isaac's death, when in the massage parlor, when he has all those puncture needles in him, and then the table breaks and he lands face first onto the floor, and then gets that Buddha statue crushing his head. And also Olivia's death with the eye surgery. What I didn't expect from the film either was the amount of drama and action in that third act with Sam's best friend. What's his name? Fuck. The one who played Tom Cruise in Superhero Movie.
It's Dragonfly. He's not even a hero. He's not. I have just. He can't. He can't even fly. The Dragonfly can't even fly. I can fly. Okay. I can fly.
This just in, Tom Cruise is dead.
But yeah, really intense action with that chase scene through that restaurant where Peter's chasing Sam and Molly in that kitchen, and then they get in a fight or whatever, and then Sam takes Peter's life that he stole from someone else. But then also we have that incredible mind-blowing ending when we find out that the fifth film takes place before the first film. One of my favorite horror movie endings of all time, by far. Incredible stuff. And even seeing the same characters from that first movie, it's mind-blowing. And then we see Sam and Molly's fate when the airplane explodes and you see that shot of the fire rising. That is basically the shot that solidifies this entire franchise. I love Final Destination 5. This is going to GOAT. Final Destination Bloodlines, the most recent Final Destination movie, one of my most anticipated and long-awaited sequels that I've been waiting forever for. I went to go see, and I would have to say it's the most self-aware, most fun, and probably campy, tongue-in-cheek, and is just, like I said, self-aware about itself. All the characters are funny. Some of the deaths are pretty good in here. I like the opening vision sequence. What I didn't like is how, just like in the fourth film, they cover a lot of the practical deaths because they did go practical a lot. They cover it with terrible CGI. I think this movie looks terrible. The green screen, it sticks out. That garbage truck death it looked like a Looney Tune episode. The MIR scene, pretty good. The tattoo shop scene, also really good. I didn't like the whole Bloodline storyline. I thought it tied in well with all the other movies, how it's just like everyone is connected some way or another. But I feel like the way it came off with, I forgot the main character's name, it just came off goofy. This movie's ending is also pretty shit. I didn't like the way the log trucks came in. The penny is what caused all of this. I don't know. This movie's a mixed bag for me. There's a lot of people that would put this high on their list, but for me personally, I think it's probably tied with the second movie. I would have to say it had its moments, but definitely not the best. But what I can give credit to all these movies that they made me afraid of something one way or another. The first film made me afraid of airplanes and bathrooms. The second film, log trucks. The third film, nail guns and roller coasters. The fourth film, as ass as that movie is, it made me afraid of lawnmowers. Now, I'm afraid if something's going to get kicked out from underneath the lawnmower and hit me straight in the eye. The fifth film, anywhere that has construction. And as someone who lives by a bunch of construction, I see that shit all the time. And Final Destination Bloodlines made me afraid of MRIs. And I know what you're thinking right now. I mean, it's not like you're ever going to come across an MRI, Matt. Or your chances are very low in that case. Unless you work around MRIs all the time. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, I am a huge fan of this franchise. Even with the one that I think is straight ass, I still find enjoyment out of. There is that theater sequence in the Final Destination that I like. That escalator scene, well, that's one of the best deaths in the entire franchise, if it actually happened. But anyways, that's the Final Destination ranking, guys. Thank you guys as always for watching. I look forward to bringing y'all more videos pretty soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below what movies y'all want me to check out next here on the channel and talk about. I'm Matt, and I'll see you guys in the next video.